Welcome to the SoftPlan video on how to sort your libraries. The purpose of this video is to take you through an important step, a time saver, on how to get the symbols which you are likely to reach for more often than not during your design and construction drawing phase. I have a floor plan up on screen, and when I zoom in and take a look, you can see that there are a number of speed notes, symbols, and even openings which dominate the plan. These are items that are most likely reached for on a consistent basis during the design phase. For example, the toilet number 3 we can see is appearing in 2 different places on this floor plan. And if we were to throw in possibly a second floor plan and even a finished basement, it is possible that this symbol may appear as many as 5 or 6 times on a given design. Multiply that over X number of floor plans, it becomes important to see why this symbol should be at the top of the bathroom library list as opposed to alphabetically listed towards the bottom. For those of you who are new to SoftPlan, allow me to demonstrate. Using the cursor, I will click on the symbols icon. From the list of symbols, the bathroom library happens to fall first. But if the toilet symbol were desired, I must scroll alphabetically through the list until I find the listing for the various toilet symbols. It could be argued that if toilet number 3 is the symbol of choice, that it should be listed towards the top of the symbol list. Now, the same thing could be said for the kitchen library. Once again, the library list is alphabetical. However, when the need comes up to draw whether it be a range or refrigerator, this list must be scrolled each and every time in order to find that. Now, prior to doing that, a recommendation that we would make to you is you should go in and back up your library list. So in this case, what I'm going to do with you is take you through, first of all, how to back up your list of library items. Once those are backed up, I can then go in and begin the process of sorting the library list. Begin by going to File, followed by System Options. From the list of categories, you will see towards the bottom there is an Archive option. When the Archive option is selected, you will now have the option of checking what it is you wish to back up. Whether it be just simply symbols only, as that's the library list that we're going to be configuring, or whether it be all of the items that are configurable within the program. Initially, I would recommend that you do an all. Upon selecting this and placing a check mark in each item, you would then simply select the backup button. As you are backing up a large amount of information here, you do have a prompt to make sure that you have enough disk space. I'm going to say yes to continuing this at this point. Now we will be prompted for where we wish to put the information. Now by default it's going to go to the C drive, at which point you could then burn it to a DVD or CD. Or you could remove the check mark on the default, which would then allow you to browse to a portable drive to back this information up to. When the time came or it was necessary to restore this information, whether it was because you needed to get the libraries back to what they previously were, or you were attempting to create a second system that mirrored this system in terms of where library items and keyboard shortcuts, etc. were set up, you would simply go through that same process of File, System Options, Archive, and instead of the backup, you would be allowed to select the Restore button, and then you could restore all or individual library items. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to select Cancel and cancel out of this because I'm not interested in backing that up at this time. As stated, Now that the backup is hypothetically completed, I can now go ahead and begin the sorting process of the library. And in this case, it is to get this symbol, the toilet number 3, from its spot alphabetically towards the bottom of the bathroom library list towards the top. To do so, I would select File. And this time I will select System Library. From the list of library types, I'm just going to open this up and show you that really, while we are going to focus on a very specific library today called Symbols and Bathroom, you really could go in and sort any number of items, whether it be openings or speed notes, to name a few. With Symbols, the type selection, I'll now select Bathroom, which will now give me my list of all of my bathroom library items that are there. It is probable that you reach for the same basin, possibly the same 1 or 2 bathtubs, the same shower unit, and possibly even just the same toilet each and every time you do a construction drawing layout. So, if that is true, those should be the first 3 or 4 or 5 symbols in the list. In order to make, in this case, the toilet number 3 my number 1 symbol in the list, what I'm going to do is select the Sort Symbol button towards the bottom middle section of the Configure library. This pulls up my order symbols. I can now scroll the list of available symbols until I find what it is I'm looking for, in this case, toilet number 3. I can now select the Move to Top, which just made that symbol the number 1 in the list. If I were to scroll down and select, say, Bathtub Left number 3 and Faucet, and move it to the top, and just running through a few items that are consistently drawn, possibly a pedestal sink, or and maybe it's going to be all 3. But in this case, you can see how I'm saving time. In a typical design, a toilet is always drawn, a basin is always drawn, so allow me to move the basin oval to the top, which is a constant that is drawn. Okay, a bathtub and a toilet. This is going to save me a great deal of time that is lost over the course of not just one plan, but over the course of months or years as you draw. In this case, you will now be able to select Draw Bathroom Symbols, and these will be the first 4 or 5 items that are in the list. Now, I would recommend this is something you're going to do with many of your libraries. If you go to the kitchen library, every time you go to draw a refrigerator or a range, you are scrolling this list to find those items. Sinks as well fall into this. Sort your libraries so that possibly you have a gas range, an electric range, 1, 2, or 3 different types of sinks that you are constantly reaching for, the 2 or 3 different refrigerators that you're reaching for. Make those your top 10 symbols in the kitchen library. Once you have sorted your library, in our case again we focused on the bathroom today, select OK and select OK. The next time you need to draw a symbol, when you right click and select the symbol listing, these symbols will be much easier to reach for as opposed to previously when you had to do a lot of scrolling. Sorting your libraries may seem a time-consuming thing to do, but realistically, once you have gotten the hang of doing it, you're probably looking at a 15 or 20-minute process. Now take that and compare it to the time you will save over the months and years looking for symbol items to draw. It's a worthwhile time investment.